They say the annals of the celestial realm rarely note the whims of a Divine Hound, yet in the chapters of Recap, Alchemy Emperor of the Divine Dao, 1801 to 1802, the impossible has stirred. Ling Han stands before the grotesque white demon tree, its trunk writhing with countless human faces, while the air thickens with a murderous aura that even the most seasoned cultivators would dread. A villager, daring and reckless, tests the tree's might, only to be ensnared by its venomous embrace, his cries swallowed by green mist that clings like living iron. And through it all, the haughty yet cunning black dog watches, offering guidance that could either be salvation or trap. Flames of the 9 heavens, sword flare, corpses crawl, and the veil between life and death trembles. What fate awaits Ling Han as the tree awakens fully? And what secrets linger in the loyalty of a beast who defies all logic? The air was heavy with tension, thick enough to suffocate the unprepared. Ling Han's eyes narrowed, dark as a stormy sky, as he faced the hulking figure before him. "Shti, dog, are you asking for a beating?" he barked, his voice sharp as a drawn sword. The large black dog, unnervingly poised on his hind legs like a man, gave a low chuckle that echoed with mischief. "Hey! Looking at you, your strength is lacking. Surely you suffer from renal deficiency," he teased, pushing Ling Han's shoulder with a casual flick. His tone dripped with mockery, yet carried a strange undertone of calculation. "Mind your health, lest your neighbourly adulterer seize the chance to do something untoward." "Piss off!" Ling Han snapped, raising his leg to kick the beast aside. But the black dog moved with inhuman grace, dodging easily, his eyes suddenly glinting with a more serious light. "Enough jokes. Tell me, why so tense? This white demon tree, it can absorb all forms of aura, shaping it into a murderous force. If you can refine it, your attacks will be infused with a soaring aura of death. Astonishing, beyond imagination. And should fortune favour you, the regulation of slaughter may awaken within this aura, granting you a dominance unmatched, even against fellow kings among kings." Ling Han's brow twitched in cautious curiosity. "Little Black, you don't strike me as a good soul. Why offer this to me?" The black dog bristled. "Fuck it. You seem decent. That's why. Refuse it if you dare." Ling Han raised an eyebrow. "Then why not take it yourself?" he asked, recalling their journey through the Han clan's treasure mountain. There they had seized the 7 Lives divine cloud, yet the dog had never claimed a single piece. Now, the same selflessness, or cunning, appeared again. Over time, Ling Han realized the dog's schemes, though mischievous, had never truly harmed him. "I am a divine hound of heaven and earth," the dog said, chest swelling with pride. "I am born mighty, unbound by external aid." Ling Han chuckled, unconvinced. Perhaps the dog's patience was strategy, help him ascend to the pinnacle only to seize his cultivation fruits later. Or perhaps he was genuinely aiding him. But such unconditional loyalty, could it exist in this treacherous world? "You can trust this detestable dog." Small Tower's voice interjected suddenly, calm yet resolute. Ling Han froze, incredulous. "How do you know? You've met him before, haven't you?" It was possible. After all, the black dog had been unearthed from an ancient celestial realm site by Gu Daoyi in Ling Han's first life. Yet even as a mere pup then, the dog's existence could span multiple lifetimes, changing forms at will. Small Tower's gaze softened as he pondered. "I haven't recovered much memory, yet I feel he is trustworthy." Ling Han's conviction sharpened. "You two must have known each other before." He didn't question further. Small Tower and the black dog alike held fragmented memories, and probing deeper would yield nothing but frustration. With a wry smile, Ling Han said, "Then let's retrieve the tree heart." "Demonized tree heart," the dog emphasized, his voice carrying a warning. As they stepped into the village, the towering walls barely reached their knees, leaving the white demon tree fully exposed. And it was unlike any tree Ling Han had ever encountered. The trunk was a grotesque canvas of human faces, each frozen in silent anguish, a spectacle that twisted the stomach and curdled the soul. "Something's wrong," the black dog muttered, halting abruptly. Ling Han, instinctively protective, drew the Empress close. The uncanny aura of the white demon tree prickled his senses, its very presence radiating danger. Suddenly a figure shouted, "White demon tree!" and surged forward, ignoring Ling Han and the group entirely. He was determined, arrogant, a man around 30, wielding a broadsword as if fate itself bent to his will. The black dog's eyes glimmered with mischief. Perfect. Let's see what this fool triggers, he whispered. The man's blade, humming with the power of the regulations, struck the base of the tree. Sparks of divine energy ignited in the air, yet even with his caution, the white demon tree's response was instantaneous. The trunk split as if alive, expelling a surge of emerald mist that swallowed the man whole. When the mist dissipated, he was ensnared in a viscous, unyielding sap, his struggles only driving the substance tighter. Panic painted his face green, and soon the toxin within began to sap his strength. "Shatter!" he roared, activating his origin power protective barrier, a glowing shield of resistance, yet the poison pressed in relentlessly, threatening collapse. A vine lashed outward from the tree's trunk, coiling around him like a serpent's tongue, dragging him closer to the malevolent heart of the tree. "Save me!" he screamed, glimpsing the Empress. Her restored form radiated a celestial beauty, enough to freeze him in awe for a fleeting moment. Ling Han's chuckle cut through the tension, and with a motion of lethal elegance he surged forward, Nine Heaven's flame transforming into a blazing divine sword. His purpose was not mercy, it was impatience to act. Boom, his flaming blade cut through the air, meeting the white demon tree's toxic mist. "Shatter!" he cried. The green miasma hissed and vanished into ash, unable to withstand the purifying wrath of the Nine Heavens' flame. Again he struck, severing the vine that held the man captive. Flame and sword chi danced together, reducing the corrosive sap to nothingness. The man scrambled to his feet, fleeing with every ounce of his shaken strength, the terror of the encounter etched into his very being. Ling Han pressed onward, eyes fixed upon the white demon tree, its grotesque faces contorted, screaming without sound. The trunk split and cracked, and from the gaping wounds spilled headless corpses, riddled with decay, yet crawling with a life of eerie persistence. Each movement, each writhing form, whispered of death's insidious art, a grotesque symphony of horror summoned by the malevolent will of the white demon tree. The village seemed to hold its breath as the horror unfolded, the air electric with the tension of unseen powers and the dark promise of trials yet to come. A shadow of unease crossed Ling Han's brow as he surveyed the scene before him. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and a shiver of dread ran along his spine. "Something's amiss, as I feared," murmured the massive black dog beside him, its eyes glinting with a keen awareness beyond the ordinary. The earlier assaults, the green mist that had curled through the air like living smoke, the sharp, instinctive lash of a tongue, could still be explained as the natural defenses of a wood-element being. But this sudden uprising of headless corpses was no instinctual trick. Such a feat was beyond the ordinary, a horrifying testament to the tree's dark ingenuity. Perhaps it fed not only on energy but on flesh, digesting prey it had ensnared over time. And if that were the case, these corpses were the unfortunate souls who had dared enter the mystery realm this very day. A chorus of horrifying whispers erupted from the shambling bodies. "My head! My head! Return my head!" The words formed ripples in the air. Though the speakers were nothing more than headless husks, how could one speak without a mouth? How could thought survive without eyes? Yet there it was, a chilling intelligence, a consciousness bound to decayed bone and rotten sinew. All their eyeless sockets seemed fixed upon Ling Han, accusing, demanding, and burning with a silent fury. Suddenly, the corpses surged forward, their movements unnervingly quick for being so grotesque. Their flesh fell away in clumps as they advanced, leaving only jagged skeletons adorned with scraps of decayed meat. Ling Han's eyes narrowed, his voice low and resolute. "I will send you all to the afterlife." With a forceful punch, he unleashed a torrent of lightning, a storm incarnate, coiling and dancing around his form. But the headless warriors were nimble, leaping and twisting with unnatural agility, dodging each crackling bolt with ease. Interesting. Ling Han's mind flickered with curiosity and determination. With a mighty battle cry, he summoned an expanse of lightning, his body radiating the raw power of storms. Boom! The clash shook the ground as he collided with the corpses, both sides suffering the brutal force of the impact. Ling Han was hurled backward like a cannonball, pain lancing through his body as though his bones had been rattled loose. The headless corpses, too, reeled, their brittle forms shivering under the crackling onslaught. Grimacing, Ling Han rose, wincing as dizziness threatened to unseat his balance. Then a scream tore through the air, the white demon tree itself bellowing, releasing a tortured cry that cut through the chaos. Pooh! Another burst of green mist erupted from the tree, sweeping over the corpses. The arcs of lightning dancing across their bones flickered and died, and in a moment the headless forms vanished, leaving only the echo of their haunting wails. But there was no time to rest. The corpses reappeared almost immediately, launching a renewed assault from every angle. Some soared through the air, others barreled headlong from the sides, their relentless numbers pressing against Ling Han with merciless precision. Then, amidst the chaos, a glint of wickedness flashed in the eyes of the man Ling Han had once saved. Without warning, he lunged at the Empress, a dangerous gleam in his gaze, driven by desire and confidence in his cultivation. With the fourth severance of his power, he believed he could seize her without resistance. But agony struck him mid-leap. A sharp, cruel pain surged from his rear, and a shrill roar escaped his lips. Only then did he realize the massive black dog had sunk its jaws into him. "You dare seek death!" the Empress thundered, turning with the lethal grace of a predatory cultivator. Her beauty, striking yet terrifying, seemed to command the very heavens. Her hands swept through the air, unleashing countless beams of swordlight imbued with the weight of cosmic regulations. The man froze, paralyzed by the overwhelming power. In an instant he was flung away, a tiny black speck against the vast chaos, still accompanied by the dog's unwilling flight as it held fast to its target. Ling Han, undeterred, surged forward, lightning dancing over his body, shoving aside the headless corpses. With a thunderous leap, he struck into the air, his speed and power amplifying the very essence of the storm around him. He caught the fleeing man effortlessly and turned toward the ruined village. "Spare me," the man pleaded, terror etched into every line of his face. Ling Han's smile was cold, his eyes unyielding. "I saved you, yet you sought to repay kindness with treachery. Such insolence cannot be forgiven. I will not kill you, but I will undo my mercy." The man's cries escalated to near hysteria, but Ling Han ignored them, hurling him toward the waiting grasp of the white demon tree. A surge of green mist and a long vine snaked forth, ensnaring him and dragging him toward the tree's gnarled trunk. The man's screams became a cacophony of despair as he realized the grim fate of the headless corpses, once cultivators, now bound eternally to the tree's will. Ling Han remained unmoved, his gaze sharp. The Empress, haughty and untouchable, observed with an air of detached pride. To her only Ling Han and those he cherished were worthy. The rest were but dust in the wind. The man's agonized wails abruptly ceased as he was drawn into the trunk. Ling Han's voice, like the cold strike of steel, cut through the silence. "You have forged this fate for yourself." The massive black dog approached the Empress, voice tinged with exasperation. "Could you be less severe?" Grandpa Dog was nearly torn apart. The Empress paid him no mind, her pride unshaken. With her prey secured, the white demon tree did not launch another assault. The headless corpses withdrew, standing sentinel beside it. "These beings have evolved a terrifying form of slaughter," the black dog murmured. "The tree does not merely channel murderous energy, it consumes and controls the flesh of cultivators themselves. Their headless forms serve as instruments of battle." The tree writhed rhythmically, a new face emerging upon its bark, etched with agony as if echoing its final moments before death. Pooh! A headless corpse toppled out, momentarily dazed, before its gaze locked onto Ling Han, eyes burning with the same desperate question that had haunted the others. "Where's my head?"